Hey, good Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning. We're 5 days into the new year. 5 days into the new year. And, yesterday afternoon, I was getting some phone calls and I was making phone calls and I found out that several shut ins here in Ritchie County were able to get the COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. And they were really excited about it. And, to me, that's hope. That is hope, and it's another sign that 2021 is going to bring good news for our world. So, there's going to be some bumps and there's going to be some slowdown when it comes to getting through this pandemic, but we're going to get through this pandemic. And whenever someone calls you on the phone and they're so happy that they've been selected to get the vaccine, that's a good sign. So I am praising God for that. And I just really think that 5 days into 2021, we're going to see some good things for this year. So I want to jump back into 2020. I know you hated it. Everybody does, right? But, January in 2020, I was able to lead a group to the Middle East. We went to Jordan, went to Israel, and we went to Egypt. And all the trips that I've been to the Holy Land, I've always enjoyed when we stayed in Jerusalem. Well, before I get to Jerusalem, I always enjoy the little shops throughout the Holy Land, no matter what country it is in. I mean, when we were in Egypt, we stayed at Sharm el Sheikh, right off the Red Sea, and met a wonderful friend, Osama, and he had a shop there at the resort, and great. He's a great guy, and I hope to be able to go back there someday and see Osama and my friends at Sharm el Sheikh. But in Bethlehem, I mean, there's so many wonderful stores there and wonderful people in Jerusalem. Jerusalem, oh my goodness, I can't even begin to name all the people that I know there. Most of the, because I'll probably say their name wrong, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to disrespect anybody. But I have so many wonderful friends over there, and one of my favorite stores to go to. It's not when you're not on tour or anything like that. It's when we get back to the hotel in Jerusalem. But the majority of the folks who have traveled with me, you've been to this shop. Well, because usually we'll go back to the hotel, we'll have dinner, you guys can freshen up, and then we walk a couple blocks to St. George's store, and it's an amazing place, and it, Abraham, depending on how you say it, some say Ibrahim, others Abraham, but he's the shopkeeper there at St. George's, and we have been going there, I think, since 2009, maybe 2011. I can't remember. It all runs together. But January of this past year, our first night in Jerusalem at the hotel, we got together. We walked to St. George's, and just as if Abraham knew we were coming, he was waiting. And our group went in, and the first thing he did is because he knows over the years I've been watching those Jerusalem crosses. I love the Jerusalem cross, and I never had one of my own. And he saw the spark or the twinkle in my eye years ago, but this time when I walked in, he was ready for me. And first thing he did is, after everybody started looking at all the jewelry, he pulls out this Jerusalem cross for me. You see it? You see how there it is. It's 5 crosses, but I've been waiting and I've been wanting, and he gave me a price on it. It was a very good price, but I hate buying things for myself. I would rather buy things for other people. And so I told him I would think about it, and I did. I thought about it, and that night I didn't buy it. We were in Jerusalem for several nights before we would leave and cross the border back to Jordan. But I just couldn't do it. And our final night in Jerusalem, Actually, we spent the whole day touring in Bethlehem. But when we got back to our hotel in Jerusalem, it was rainy, it was cold, it was dark, and the majority of our folks was tired because the night before we were at a nightclub with another friend who was singing songs about West Virginia, Avi, who's a wonderful friend and a great guide over there. But everybody was kind of tired. But I wanted to walk down to St. George's store because that was Armenian Christmas, and I knew that Abraham would be there. And so I walked down, and it was just he and his wife. They were watching news, and I'm not sure what country the news was coming from, but it was an Arab speaking language, and they were watching. And when he saw me come in, the first thing he did is he pulled out the cross again, and he had it sitting there, and he said, "Bill, I know this is your final night. It's still available." And I ended up buying it. And I sat there and talked to him and his wife, and we had hot tea, and then we hugged, and I had to go back to the hotel because we were taking off early in the morning. We were heading to the Sea of Galilee. Yeah. But the story of this cross, and the reason why I'm sharing it with you this morning, is a couple Sundays ago I wore this as I was sharing my message, and I had a couple people reach out to me asking me what kind of cross this is. It's called the Jerusalem cross, the Jerusalem cross, and it's also known as the Crusaders cross. And I had to look up the history on the Crusaders cross, but Godfrey Bullion, he was the first Christian ruler of Jerusalem, and that was during the time of the Crusades. He used the Jerusalem cross, and this was around 1099 AD. He used the emblem of the Jerusalem cross in the coat of arms, in his coat of arms. And so archaeologists from the United States, when they were digging through his tomb, they found and discovered this Jerusalem cross. And so people have interpreted this cross differently over the years. And one of the first interpretations about this is that it's about the four evangelists. You got the cross, the big cross here in the middle. See it? Right there, then over. Then you got the four crosses. So the big cross in the middle represents Christ. And then the four little crosses represent the evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, right? The Gospel writers. And that's one interpretation. Another interpretation is that it represents the spread of Christianity across the four corners of the earth. And so you have Christ, the big cross, and you have the four corners of the earth. And Christianity spread throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, another interpretation, I should say, is that this represents the five wounds of Christ. And so you have hands, small crosses represent the hands, and then the two on the bottom represent the feet, and then the big cross represents the spear when the Roman soldiers stabbed Christ in the side. And then there's even another interpretation that was shared with me when I was in Jerusalem back in January of 2020. And that was that this represents the walls of Jerusalem. You see the big cross? It represents the walls of Jerusalem. North, south, east, west. You see them right here? And Christ comes, the message of Christ comes from Jerusalem. And so the walls, four crosses, and the big cross. And again, that was another interpretation that was shared with me back in January. But this is the Jerusalem cross. And when you see me wearing it, I don't wear it just because it's a piece of jewelry. I wear it because it's a statement of my faith. It reminds me of what we're supposed to do, because when I look at it, I think of the four gospels. I think of the evangelists. Jesus told the disciples to go into all the world, proclaim the good news. And so when I see this cross, that's what it reminds me of. You know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And of course, the big cross itself represents Christ. And I hope and pray that if you wear a cross, that you wear it not because it's a piece of jewelry, but I hope you wear it because it's a statement of faith. And sometimes when you wear a cross that people don't recognize, or maybe it makes them quiz themselves, and then eventually they'll send out a message to you asking you, what in the world was you wearing, and why were you wearing it? And you can tell them that it's about your faith. So I really appreciate this cross. And again, if you wear one, wear it not because it's a piece of jewelry. Wear it because it's a statement of faith. Hey, this is Pastor Bill from St. Luke's United Methodist Church, Harrisville, West Virginia, Ritchie County, West Virginia. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, and I hope you're safe. Have a great day, and God bless each and every one of you.